in. Come on in. Come on in. Tell me hello. Let me see who's here. Hey, everybody. Let's see who is here. Go ahead and exit that off. Good evening, everybody. Happy Monday. It's Monday, a brand new week. Let's get this thing started. Let's see who's here. Come on, come on. I know. Hello, Ruth is on. Ready for Bible study. Let's get it started. A little bit early. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Come on, come on, come on, come on. I'm watching. I'm looking just to check, make sure everything is up and running. Hello, hello. Come on in. 4 minutes, 4 minutes, 4 minutes left. Good evening, everybody. So glad that you guys can come on this evening. I am Charrisa T, the visionary for Hello Ruth, and I am so excited tonight. God is definitely doing something in the midst. Just got the phone with my sister. We've been praying and about this word God has me speaking on this evening. So I know that you guys are here. There's a word for someone on this evening. Good evening, everybody. Time is 6:27. We're going to get this thing started at 6:30. So go ahead. I see you guys joining. Hey, everybody, go ahead and drop in the chat. Go ahead and send me a wave, send some love. Go ahead and share. Start a watch party. I am here. Yes. Hello, Ruth. We are here and we are ready for Bible study. Yes. Good evening. Good evening. Hey, Dr. Ty. Good evening, everybody. I see you guys. Good evening. Hello. Again, I am Charrisa T, the visionary for Hello Ruth, and I'm so excited that you guys are locking in and joining in for Bible study on this evening. Hey, Yvetta. Hey, sweetie. Hey, queen. Thank you so much for joining. Ready for this word on this evening God has given me. Oh my goodness. This is a topic, you guys. If you just not joining, you haven't really known too much about Hello Ruth. So we are studying the book of Ruth this year. We're taking the whole year, each month. My team and I are dropping some wisdom and knowledge and things that God has given us about the book of Ruth. I mean, many times when we look at Ruth, we look at her story as just being about her and Boaz, but it's so bigger than that. And so we are diving into this book, really sharing some truths and some nuggets God has given me on this evening. So go ahead, like, share, tag, start a watch party, because we're getting this party started. 2 minutes. Hey, you guys, come on in. I see you all. I see me. If you can hear me, make sure you just give me a thumbs up. Someone tell me in the chat, let me know that you guys can hear me. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Come on. Go ahead and do this right here. Yep. Hey, queens. I see you guys joining. Hello. Come on. Thank you for the love. Good evening, everybody. Again, I am Charrisa T. It is 6:29, guys. 1 minute on the clock. 1 minute and I'm starting. 6:29. I am Charrisa T, the visionary for Hello Ruth, and I'm just excited to be with you guys this evening. Hey, we are digging in the story, the book of Ruth this year, and so we are excited to share the wisdom. My team and I have been studying this book front, backwards, forwards, just really diving in this story just to get all of the ahas. And every time we go through the book of Ruth, God is always giving us some new nuggets and some new tools to put in our toolbox. And so that's what we're doing this Bible study about. This Bible study is going to focus on the book of Ruth, loss, love, and legacy. And right now we're talking about the part of loss. We're taking some time talking about we're focusing on loss for the first few months. And so I really want to dive in. Hello, Leticia. Thank you guys so much for joining. I really want to dive in. It is 6:30. So welcome. go ahead, start those watch parties. Go ahead and get your family, your friends, cousins, aunties, get them on lock and loaded, because there's a word for someone on this evening. I feel it so strong. I've been in a season, and in a few days, I've really been in just a little funk, y'all. I got to be honest. I was in a little funk because there were some things God was showing me, and just it's a lot of things that's happening within this text. And so it's going to be heavy. It's going to be heavy, but I believe that there's a word from someone. So it's 6:31, God. We've already prayed. My sister Leticia has already called. We pray and we just ask God to go ahead and have his way. We give him this Bible study. We give him this Facebook Live. We give him this time to just come and open our eyes to get this wisdom and knowledge that he's dropping on us on this evening. So we go ahead and give God praise. We give God thanks. We give him the glory for what he's getting ready to do. Amen. It's time to go to work. Y'all ready? Give me a thumbs up. Let me know you guys can hear me. Hello, Lexi. So great to see you. So great to see you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, God, have your way. We just thank you guys so much for joining again. For those of you who missed me, my name is Charrisa T, the visionary for Hello Ruth, and my team and I are so excited to be able to do Bible study with you guys on these monthly Bible studies. Like, really, God has really been moving, and he is speaking, and he's not done. All right, let's jump in. So if anybody I see Leticia, I see Iveta, I see Quiana, I see Dr. Ty, I see Lexi. So you guys, if y'all can put this in the chat for me, I'm going to come from chapter 1, verse 1 through 5, and this is the Message version of the Bible. I love the Message version. I'm telling you, the Message just straight cut throat. It tells it like it is, and so I'm excited. If you guys can hear me, go ahead and make sure you give me a heart, give me some love, give me some hearts, give me a thumbs up, give me a wave, let me know, because I'm ready to dive into this word. I am not going to be before you very long. I'm not going to be before you long. Again, that's Ruth 1, chapter 1, verses 1 through 5, and that is the Message version. And it reads, I hope y'all ready. Once upon a time, it was back in the days when judges led Israel. There was a famine in the land. I want you to highlight that, underline that. There was a famine in the land. A man from Bethlehem in Judah left home to live in the country of Moab. He and his wife and his 2 sons, he left home to live in the country of Moab. Left. Put a box around that. The man's name was Elimelech. His wife's name was Naomi, and his sons were named Malihan and Kilion, all Ephraimites from Bethlehem in Judah. They all went to the country, put a box, highlight, circle that, to the country of Moab and settled there. Elimelech died, and Naomi was left, she and her 2 sons. The 2 sons took Moabite wives. The names of the first was Orpah and the second was Ruth. They lived there in Moab for the next 10 years, but then the 2 brothers, Malion and Kilion, died. Now the woman was left without either young men or her husband. And if I want to talk to you guys, if I would put a title to this, I would put a traumatic experience. A traumatic experience. So let me give you guys the backdrop. Last year, God, I'm really big on words. And last year, God spoke to me about movement. And he showed me, he walked me, he showed me piece by piece how there was so much movement in the story of Ruth. And a lot of people don't look at it that way. And we miss those key points of how they move throughout the story. And so God really had me just really praying about that thing. And I told my team, I said, hey, I think God is telling us it's time to move. We got to learn how to move differently. And he gave me rather the book of the story of Ruth. And he showed me how Naomi and Ruth and even Boaz moved throughout this story. But I had you go back and I had you highlight and underline some words in this first first 5 verses of Ruth chapter 1, because we cannot gloss over what is happening here. I really want you to focus not on Ruth. I want you to focus on Naomi. I want you to focus on Naomi. We always look at Naomi in a negative light because, you know, the Bible, if we read on it, says that she's bitter. But I want you to focus on Naomi today, because what we need to understand is that in this passage of scripture, it tells us that Elimelech moved from one place to another because of famine. Because of famine. Famine. What is famine? It is a condition where many people die of starvation. There's a lack of supply. There's a lack of food. There's disease. There's death rates are high. These people were in a famine. And Elimelech told his wife, we got to go. We can't stay here. This is not healthy for me. It's not healthy for you. I don't want my family in this position. So I have to move you. That's the first time we see movement in the book of Ruth. They move from one place to another. How many times do we do that? Come on. How many times do we move from one place to another? We're in a sticky, bad situation, right? We see some things and we move to get away from it. I can attest, I've done it before. We move to another city because we don't like the current city that we're in, or we move to a different job because we don't like what's happening on that job. And here's the thing. Here's what God had to tell me. The move wasn't a bad move. They were moving to get away from something. They were moving to get better. They were moving to get better. Do you understand? They were moving from one place to another to better themselves, to better position themselves in a state or a place where it wasn't what they currently saw. Famine, sickness, low supply, high death rates, starvation. It was a famine in the land, and they are trying to move so that they can get into a better position so that they can, first of all, provide for themselves, but not only for themselves, but for their children. We've been there. We've all tried to get to a better place, whether it's you've been praying to get to a new job or a new position at your job, a new space, a new city, a new town. We all want to move somewhere that's better than where we currently are. We all want to grow, right? That's what's happening here. But this is the thing. They moved from one place because they were in this traumatic situation. Okay, traumatic. I've never seen it before in my life, but I know it was a traumatic situation for Naomi. So they moved from one place to get to a new place in Moab. And what happens? Come on. What happens? Her husband died. Death hits their house. They've left one place, and then things are going good, and then death hits her house. Not only does it hit it once, it hits it twice, because now she's already lost her husband, and the text tells us 10 years later, she's lost her sons. So Naomi is facing a series of traumatic experiences. She goes from living in a place where all she saw was death, and all she saw was destruction, and all she saw was the lack, the poverty, the famine that was in that particular land. She moves thinking, okay, this is it. We're going to move to this place, move thinking that she's putting herself and her family in a better position, only to find out that death has hit her household. She's traumatized. You know, a lot of times people say Naomi was bitter, and they talk about Naomi being bitter. But did you really understand what was going on with her? She's traumatized. She's went from one experience to the next, and each one is getting worse and worse. It's getting bad. It is not getting better. It's getting worse. And so trauma is what I'm going to talk to you guys about. Trauma. I'll talk to you guys about trauma. Yeah, I know this is a heavy topic. I had to do some research, y'all. This is a heavy topic, even for me, and I'm gonna share some of my personal stories with you. But this is a heavy topic because we sometimes we don't realize why we are the way we are, and it's because of the experiences that we have faced over a significant amount of time. One thing after the other. One thing, I'm talking about time you get out of one, there's another situation happening. Traumatized. Naomi is going through a traumatizing experience. Trauma, according to dictionary.com, is defined as deeply distressed or a disturbing experience or a physical injury. Now, I'm going to give you guys a little facts because I had to do some research. I had to really dig deep in this word trauma. So I'm going to give you some facts from the APA. You see me, guys, I'm looking over at my notes because I want to read this to you correctly. I'm going to give you some things that the APA, American Psychological Association, said about trauma. Y'all ready for this? Just get ready. They said, the APA said, trauma is an emotional response to a terrible event like an accident, a rape, or natural disaster. A traumatized person can feel a variety of emotions immediately after the event. Here we go. And in the long term. So once the event is over, it can be 5, 10, 15, 20 years later, and that person still can be dealing with some traumas, the after effects of that experience. This is what this is what I want you guys to understand. A person who has been traumatized may feel overwhelmed, helpless, shocked, difficulty with processing their experience. It can also cause physical symptoms. It can have long-term effects on a person's well-being. If the symptoms persist and do not decrease, it can indicate that the person has a health disorder called PTSD. This thing is serious. We don't understand. We take these things for granted, but we don't understand the after effects and the side effects of all of these experiences that we have had over our lives. And we wonder why we feel the way we feel. We wonder why we move the way we move and we do the things we do. It's because we have been traumatized. Symptoms of trauma range from mild to severe. A person who has experienced trauma may feel denial, anger, fear, sadness, shame, confusion, anxiety, depression, numbness, guilt, hopelessness. They may be irritable. They can't concentrate. They may have emotional outbursts, find it difficult to cope with how they feel. They can either withdraw from others. Listen to this. Flashbacks, where a person relives a traumatic event in their mind, are common as nightmares. Do y'all hear this? Along with the emotional reaction, trauma can cause physical symptoms, headaches, digestive system, fatigue, a racing heart, sweaty, jumpy. A person can feel that they're in a constant state of alertness, difficult with sleeping. Oh my God. Individuals may also go on to develop mental health issues, depression, anxiety, substance abuse, trauma. I know we've all been there. I know we all been there. We've all been there. We've all been there. I've been there. I can share you some experiences. I can walk you through from when I was a little girl, when my mom and my dad divorced, thinking that thinking had no idea why I was being so mean and why I felt the way I felt, but I was mad because I wanted my mommy and my daddy together. Okay. Not on going with that. Okay, let's talk about elementary school, being bullied by people and peers. Okay, so now I see my family's getting torn. I'm being bullied at school. I'm being as I grow older, being peer pressured to do certain things that I know I'm not supposed to be doing. Okay, looking at the choices that I made as a teenager that has affected me till this day. Okay, okay, I I'm talking about me, have been through some traumatic experiences. Naomi, Ruth 1, verse 20 and 21 says, don't call me Naomi, call me bitter. Listen, I done been through, I'm just tired. I'm tired. I'm bitter. And we look at that verse and we see how bitter she was, but we don't really understand all of the hell that she was going through. She went from situation after situation after situation after situation. She was going through hell. I'm just being real. She was going through. How many of us are going through some things? I'm not just talking about COVID. Yeah, COVID, I get, yes. But I'm talking about there are some experiences that we have gone through over the years of our life that is affecting us today. And you're realizing and you're wondering, why am I the way I am? Why is this happening to me? I can't get off of this cycle? Why am I still dealing with something? It's because we have not dealt with the pains of our past. I told you last week, and I won't even say last week, there's been times when I've had to call my good friend, my good sister, and I think she's on here, just asking her, like, trying to help me process through some things, what I was feeling. And reliving some things, looking at triggers, getting a text message can trigger. That's why it's so important that you watch what you pay a close attention to what you're feeding yourself, what you're looking at on TV, because somebody can say something. It can be a word. It can be something on TV that can bring back a memory of a painful experience that happened in your past that you thought you probably was through and you thought you were healed and finished with it, over and done. I'm done. But deep down inside, that itty bitty comment, that little flower mark, that little clip on TV will trigger something in your mind, and it will make you focus on the negative things and the negative past experiences that has happened to us, that has happened to you. Yeah, I know, but here's the thing. This is what I want you guys to really understand. And I have a question for you. I have this question. I'm gonna pose this question because it's the same question I had to ask myself. Just granted, we're gonna all go through some things, right? We're gonna all go through some negative experiences. We're gonna all go through some places that we don't like. But here's the question that I had to ask myself, and I'm gonna ask you. All of these experiences are a part of my DNA. But my question to you is, does it define me? Does it define my now? Does it define who I am? Does it define where I'm going? Does it define who God says that I am? Does it define that the job is mine? Does it define that the relationship with mine, if the business is mine? Does it define that? Yes, I went through it. Yeah, they bullied me. Yes, they called me names. Yes, I made mistakes. Yes, it happened to me. Yes, I was overlooked. Yes, I was rejected. Yes, I may even be guilty. Guilty as charged. I did it. Yep, I did it. I made the mistake. I said it. I know I was in my fields. I said it. I did it. But my question to you is, does it define you? Are you allowing those traumatic experiences to define you where you are right now? Are you allowing life to stay on hold and on pause because of what happened to you long ago? I know you like, listen, Charrisa, listen, you just don't understand. You don't understand. I don't have to understand. I already know it hurt. I already know it hurt like hell. I'm just being honest. It hurt. You did. Maybe it's something you did. I don't know. Maybe it's something that happened to you. But we all go through traumatic experiences. We all deal with them. But let me tell you something. Let me tell you the good thing about my daddy God. He loves me. And I know he loves you so much that he will not let an experience that happened to you when you were a little girl or a little boy, or something that even happened to you yesterday or 5 minutes before you watch this Facebook Live, he will not let that little thing stop the great plans that he has for you. He will not let you to continue to move. This is why I told you when I went back from in the beginning of the chapter, I told you the first sign of movement was when Elimelech, he told his wife, we got to go to Moab because they were in a bad situation, right? But now they find Naomi, because now husband is dead, that her children are dead as well. But now Naomi, what did Naomi do? Did she stay in Moab? Did she stay? She didn't stay there. She was hurt. She was bitter. She walked with a limp, but she didn't stay there. She went back. Y'all don't hear me on today. She went back. She moved again. What I'm trying to tell you is, you cannot let, first of all, we are not letting our past define who we are and where we are right now and the greater things God has for us. Because where you are right now, God has something great from that. So we're not going to let that define us. But what we're not going to do as well, we're not going to let it stop us from moving. It's not going to let us from stop. She went back to where her bread and butter was. She heard that the famine was over. I'm going back. Sometimes we got to come back to God. We got to go back to our first love. We got to go back. We can't stay there. We can't stay there. And here's the thing I love about Ruth. You know, we can't stay there, but I love Ruth because in Ruth verses 1:16 through 17, she said, I ain't going nowhere. You think just because you right now got all this going on, I'm gonna leave you? The devil is a lie. I'm not leaving you. We need people in our life who gonna be with us through the good, the bad, and the ugly. We need some folks. We need to be around people who see something better in us than we see in ourselves. We may be at that moment in our feelings, we may be hurt, we may be depressed, we may be in our feelings at that moment, but we need somebody who can see past that and say, hey girl, hey queen, hey bro, I'm not gonna let you stay here. I'm gonna help you pick these pieces back up. I'm gonna help you get back up and pick yourself back up, because I'm not gonna let you stay here. We need to do a circle check. Who is around you? Who is pulling you? We need people who are going to pull us up, who are going to stick by you regardless of where you are, what you find yourself in. We got to be careful, man, about the relationships and people who so easily walk away from us. People will kick you down. This world is so cruel. People will kick you down and they already know you down. Listen, we don't need that. We don't need that. We don't need that. We need to be around people. We need some Ruths in our lives. I love Oprah. She did her thing. She had to go, whatever. We'll talk about that a little later. But we need some people in our life who gonna go through it, carry this, help me along the way. Get me together. Tell me to get out of my feelings. Whatever I need to tell me. Help me. Help me see me. Question me. Well, what's going on? Well, why are you feeling like this? Get it out. What are you missing? We need somebody who's going to help us get out of where we are. That's why, it told us in the APA, they said that a traumatized person likes to withdraw. It's okay to withdraw sometimes. That's why you need people to know You need people to know you, the real you. And they know when you're withdrawing because you're spending time with God, or you're withdrawing because you're going through a negative experience. They know the difference. People know you. God is going to send people there who is going to say, hey, sis, I see something going on. Something not right. He will send people, and you'll be surprised of who it is. Listen, I'm not digging deep in this word. I told you I'm not staying on. I done said everything I need to say on this evening. I understand. I know somebody out there who is listening has been going through some situations, and they have allowed it to define who they are. And God is saying to you today, no longer can you let the experience define who you are. I am putting you, I want to show you something fresh. I want to show you something new. I want to show you how to be loved. I want to show you the real relationship that you can have with others through me. So I need you to come home to me first. Love on me, get to know me, come back, let me help you process what is going on. We can't do anything without God. Give that situation to him. I'm not going to tell you that it's going to be easy. Once you get off this line, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know what's going to happen to you tonight. I don't even know what will happen to you next year. But what I do know is that after this day, I don't care what happens, what you're not going to do in the name of Jesus is allow this situation, the sickness, the loss, the grief, you're not going to allow it to keep you bound. You're going to walk through this thing, and you're going to walk out of it. So no longer will we continue to say, oh, I don't want to go through this, or we're shunning the trauma. It happened. It's going to happen. There's always going to be something knocking at your door every time you're trying to move forward. But what I'm telling you, don't get stuck there. It does not define you. You are who God says you are. You are his child. You are his beloved. You are his friend. You are who he says you are. And he has so many great and wonderful things in store for you. So even though I don't even have to go through it, but we already know what happens to Naomi. She was bitter in chapter 1. We see that she was bitter. She called herself bitter. She was allowing her situation to define who she was. But guess what, though? She moved. She kept moving anyway. She didn't know what was going to be the outcome. She didn't know. All she knew is that she had to keep going. I had to go back. She was going back to God. She was going back to Bethlehem. She was going back to that place with him. And so when I'm telling somebody on this evening, whoever's under the sound of my voice, I don't know, maybe you're watching this in the morning. I don't know. But what I'm telling you is the trauma is going to happen. We can't get away from it. As long as we have breath in our bodies, we're going to face something. We're going to have some issues. We're going to have some bad days. But I want you to understand that God loves you, and it does not define you. So go through whatever you got to go through, but you got to continue to keep moving. You got to come back home to Daddy God and let him love on you. Let him fix you, mend you, heal you from the inside out so that you can walk this thing out like God intended you for it to be. I know it hurts. I know what happened to you was unfair. I get it. I don't have to know exactly what it is. But what I want to tell you is you got to keep moving, baby. You got to keep going. It's something bigger on the other side of this. There is glory coming. There is glory coming. There is glory coming. And even somebody under the sound of my voice right now is feeling lighter because you are there is glory coming. It is here. This is your reminder. This is somebody's reminder that God is not through, that God is not over. He's not done with you yet. He has something better for you, daughter. He has something better for you, son. He's not through with you. He gave you another day. He gave you life. I don't care what day it is, what time it is you're watching this now live or the replay. He gave you another chance. And every day you wake up, there's another chance that he has given you to do some great things. So keep pushing, baby. Keep going. God is not through with you yet. Don't let your situation, don't let your past define your now. I don't care if it happened 15 minutes ago. I don't care if somebody trying to call you, text you right now with that foolishness. I don't care what they say and what they do. Do not let your situation define who you are. You're loved, you're healed, you're whole, you're wonderful, and God has great plans for you. I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining. That's all I have. That's all I got. God just wants you to know he's not through with you. Better is coming. But here you go. You got to move. Even if you limp, you got to move. Even if you're hurt, you got to move. Even when you don't understand, you got to move. You got to continue to keep going. God is for you. He is for you. He is for you. He has something great on the other side, and you just got to keep moving. I am Charrisa T, and I love you guys. God loves you more. Hey, you all stay connected to Hello Ruth. Someone in y'all, come on, helloruth.org. Stay connected. We have another Bible study series coming in on the 4th Monday in March. And I'm telling you, we only going up and up. And we're talking about the book of Ruth. We're going to dive deep in that thing. We're studying the word together. And so I thank you guys so much for coming on. I thank you for the hearts. I thank you for the words. I thank you for the shares, the likes, the watch parties. But I just came to tell you what God said. He's not done. It's not over for you. It is just the beginning, baby. So keep pushing forward. Keep pushing forward. Keep climbing. God has great things for you. I love you guys. Hey, make sure you like and share. Make sure that you join our Facebook group. We love to love on you guys, empower you guys, and encourage you all on this journey. Sign up for our e-blast. We have weekly, just about weekly or every other week, emails that comes out to your email. Just an inspirational word. Stay connected, man. Stay connected. Be like Ruth and stay connected. Stay connected. Find your tribe and love them hard. You need a tribe. You need some people. Stay connected. You cannot do this thing by yourself. Can't do it by yourself. God bless you guys. I love you all. Y'all have an amazing evening.